Welcome back to Twin Sleep Talk. I'm Laura Van Leuven, mom of five, including a set of twins, a registered nurse, and a sleep coach for twins. If you are just joining us, make sure you go back and catch mistakes number one, two, and three first, because we're in the middle of a series on the top five mistakes twin moms make that are actually creating more sleep problems. Today, we're talking about mistake number four, the double rock dilemma. And this one is probably the hardest to give up because it feels so good. And honestly, for a while, it works. So here's what the double rock dilemma looks like. You are rocking both of your twins to sleep for every single nap, every single bedtime, and every wake up in the middle of the night. Maybe you've got like the double rock completely mastered, or maybe it's you and your partner tag teaming it, one baby each, both of you swaying in the dark like, I don't know, synchronized swimmers at 8 p.m. in their nursery every night. Or maybe you just have one of the twin feeding pillows permanently stationed in the nursery, maybe in their rocking chair, and that's where you rock them. So listen, if you have newborns, this is completely fine. Rocking your newborns to sleep is not a mistake. It's not creating bad habits. It is beautiful and it is appropriate, and it is one of the greatest joys of early parenthood. So if it's working for you right now, keep doing it. But here's what I see happen over and over again with the moms I work with inside the Twin Sleep Academy. What worked beautifully in the newborn stage quietly starts working against you, usually somewhere around 4 or 5 months. And most moms don't even realize it's happening until they're completely exhausted and stuck. So, when our twins were little, my husband actually had this completely mastered. Now, he is so much stronger than me, and he could rock both babies, get them perfectly asleep, and lay them down without waking them up. Like it was nothing. It was pretty impressive. And then I would try. And I have what I would lovingly refer to as noodle arms. As our twins grew and started gaining actual weight, I just physically could not do it anymore. I couldn't get them all the way to sleep and transfer them with either one or both of them without them waking up. So, what had worked when they were just tiny didn't work for me anymore. And here's why. This is something I see with so many of my clients too. As babies get older, they become more aware of their surroundings. You've probably noticed this. A newborn doesn't immediately notice the transfer from your arms to the crib, but an older baby, they absolutely do. They fall asleep snuggled up in the warmth of mommy or daddy's arms, and then they wake up in a crib alone in the dark. And their little brain goes, wait a minute, this is not where I was. Something is wrong. This is not how I'm supposed to sleep. And that's when rocking stops being a solution and starts being a problem. So here's what's actually happening when you rock your twins all the way to sleep every single time. You are unintentionally teaching them that motion is the only way to fall asleep. Their brains are literally learning, I need to be rocked to go to sleep. And that would be fine if the babies slept in one long interrupted stretch, but they don't. Nobody does. Not even me, not even you. Every single person, adults and babies and children, we cycle through light sleep stages throughout the night. We all have micro awakenings where we briefly surface before drifting back down. Now, as adults, we don't even notice because we have the experience and the skills to settle ourselves back to sleep. We roll over, we adjust our pillow, and we're out. But your twins, when they surface at, 2 a.m. and their brain says, time to fall back asleep, it goes looking for the thing it learned to associate with sleep. And that thing is probably you rocking them. And now that thing is not there. So they wake up fully and they cry because they genuinely don't know how to do this without you. They don't think that they are supposed to do this without you. So, this is why you end up with bedtimes that stretch on for an hour or more and multiple night wakings that all require rocking and short naps where they can't connect sleep cycles on their own. And you end up with two babies who become more and more dependent on motion over time. And the more you rock them to sleep, the more they need it. It's a cycle that just sort of keeps feeding itself. Now, before I tell you the fix, I just want to say something really important. Rocking your babies to sleep is not a bad thing. It is not something to feel guilty about. Sitting in that chair with a warm, sleepy baby or two on your chest, feeling their little bodies relax into yours, smelling their heads, that is one of the most precious experiences of parenthood. And as twin moms, we get that times two. You are not doing this because you're doing something wrong or you've created bad habits. You're doing this because it works, because it helps your babies feel loved and safe, and because in the early weeks, it was exactly the right thing to do. You were connecting with your babies, you were nurturing them, and you were being a wonderful. So please hear me when I say the goal here is not to take away the snuggles. The goal is to protect your sleep and theirs. So here's the shift that I want you to make. If you're ready to move away from rocking your babies to sleep, keep rocking your babies, keep the snuggles, keep those cozy bedtime routines. All of that can stay. But instead of rocking them all the way to sleep and then attempting like the world's most stressful transfer, which if you have noodle arms like me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I want you to rock them until they are calm and drowsy, until they are relaxed and heavy and clearly winding down. Then lay them down before they are fully asleep. And I know this sounds terrifying, but here's what you're doing in the moment. You are giving them the chance to experience that last little bit of falling asleep in their crib in the same place where they'll be when they wake up a little bit at 2 a.m. So when they surface in that light sleep cycle, their brain doesn't just automatically panic. They recognize where they are and they have a chance, maybe for the first time, to try and drift back down on their own. Sometimes you'll hear it called drowsy but awake, but I like to think of it as calm but awake. And it's one of the most foundational sleep skills you can teach your twins. Listen, you are still there. You are still present. You're still doing the rocking and the snuggling and the loving bedtime routine. You're just letting them practice that very last step for themselves. Now, calm but awake sounds simple in theory, but I know in practice it brings up a lot of questions. How calm is calm enough? What do I do if they cry when I put them down? Does this work the same way for naps as it does for bedtime? What about the middle of the night? Now, inside the Twin Sleep Academy, we go into all of it and I walk you through exactly how to implement calm but awake with twins. Because doing this with two babies at the same time has its own unique challenges and strategies that a singleton sleep approach just doesn't cover. So, if you're ready to break the rocking cycle for good and actually get your twins sleeping, head over to twinsleep.com to learn more about the Twin Sleep Academy and how we can work together. Thanks so much for watching. Again, make sure if you haven't downloaded the guide yet, check the description below for the link and you'll get that sent right over to your inbox. If this episode was helpful to you, and I truly hope it was, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and most of all, would you share it with a friend who needs to hear this? And I will see you next time.